into that, to talk to their people, and after getting them, then we know what we can do after them. If we want to get these children alive, then it's important also to use diplomacy, to be able to, get these children outside there. But let's just stress this, with all what is going underground now, it's not going to hinder, it's not going to stop. In fact, we are making progress because it's beyond Nigeria now. All over the world, people are interested. They are interested in getting, that's the reason we have been getting all that kind of uncharitable comment coming from our friends, from our allies, that, okay, president must do something. And my own take again is that the president must be matured at this point in time, because the reason why we got to where we are today is because we have not been mature about how we handle the issue of terrorism. And I'm happy also, I've been studying what the comment of APC as compared to what they normally say 6 years back, is already 6 months back, is different now. I think we are coming to realize the fact that, okay, now not me can be why me at a point, because we may be saying, okay, it's President Jonathan's problem alone. It can happen to anybody. General Shua was among the people that said, okay, don't bring soldiers to this place, but he became the victim. No, Professor Awuno is a Ghanaian. He never knew that even he's going to die, but he died in Kenya. So it's a point to the fact that, okay, all of us must come together at this point in time, and the president must be mature, because it's important to be able to as a commander-in-chief, you have to be able to motivate your people. Elizabeth II, during the Second World War, he traveled down to all those places and motivate all those commanders. Look, you have to win this war. Because for military also to win that war, there's a need for us to rally around the people. So to support our military, for them to be able to do that job. So it's very important. Public diplomacy is one of the pillars of counterterrorism, and the president should let's have
Mr. Ona respond to that caller, yes. And then the issue of support for the military, even as the search continues.
Well, the issue of the military being compromised, well, sure, Oguche, who the mastermind of the Nyanya bomb, was a DMI operative. And we know that there are fifth columnists in the military. In fact, the DIA is running a lot of background checks on military personnel to determine, whether they are fundamentalists or extremists, and then affect, perhaps also inform decisions in where they're going to be posted. So those are normal. BI is a normal internal security thing that you do to ensure that you don't put the wrong guys in the in certain places. So that's it's a constant thing, because it's human beings. Human beings can change any day. There's no telling what's in a man's mind. And so the only way is to check his antecedents and check his statements, check the kind of things he does, the kind of people he hangs out with, and determine that whether it's a threat or whether it's a liability to an operation or not. But that does not mean that, of course, that will determine his service. But having said that, I think he is talking about military not being equipped, or perhaps what we are calling corruption right now is the fact that since the end of the Civil War, we have been reducing our military strength. Right now, we have an army strength of 150,000 thereabouts. And even if you take all 150,000 guys and put them in Sambisa Forest, they cannot police it entirely. So, I mean, Ihejirika had come out and cried about he needed money to fight this war on terror. He had cried. The military budget in 3 years, $1 trillion, 1 trillion naira, all 3 years, all military services, security, including police, 1 trillion. And out of that 1 trillion, only 20% is for capital vote. That means to buy new equipment. So, I mean, and we've not had this before. Since the Civil War ended in 70, this is the first real confrontation we're having, which began 5 years ago, thereabout. So this new reality. Now, what we need to do as Nigerians, not you or even the president, because it's the responsibility of us all Nigerians. What we need to do is become nimble also in our thinking. We have to be adaptive. This is what I called for about 3-4 weeks ago. I said the military has to be adaptive. This is a new reality. And so we need to understand that this is a new reality. We've got to change our footing. Listen, the United States FBI, up till 9/11, was a detective agency, purely detective agency. There's a couple's evidence, there's dead body on the ground, they go and investigate who killed them. But after 9/11, they said, no, if you wait for the smoking gun, it will be too late, because this is terrorism we are dealing with. So all of these, a lot of idle talk I see on television and in the press, in the print media, is because people don't understand the nature of the animal, the nature of the beast we are dealing with here. This is terrorism. Go back to the French and ask them why they beheaded their king, during the French Revolution. They will tell you why they came up with Reign de la Terreur. You understand? So look, we're not talking akarangari here. We're not talking about mundane things, APC, PDP. Well, that's mundane. What we are talking about is international terror, what we have on our ground, on this soil. International terror. Myself, Captain Umar here, we've been telling this our government for a long time that you have some real bad guys here. And they're going to kick butt.
Just hold on.
And that's what we are seeing now.
Just hold on. One
last break.
The last caller here. Hello? Hello?
Hello, gentlemen and lady.
Prince, good morning.
Good morning.
You can go ahead with a comment.
A responsible nation and a responsible one would have done something before now. When this insurgency started far in 2009, some responsible nations would have taken their military men for training. It's done in so many nations. 500 policemen, 500 police, 500 Navy, Air Force, Civil Defense, what have you, either to America, UK, train them. We're not aware of this. Nobody's aware of any evil. Nobody's on the den of Satan and demons. Train them on insurgency, counter them or what have you. On their way back, please equip them for us. What are we doing with all these $10 billion, $4 billion private jets? Don't fly on our airports. Go there. I was there yesterday. Everywhere is locked. They can't go on our roads now because their Rolls Royce can no longer go because of insecurity. So we should have used the money to train these young men, put them in strategic areas. What does it require to have these satellites to man our borders? Rocket scientists? To sit down and use your laptop and learn? Can I tell you something? My younger brother is the Google representative, the whole of West Africa. He's a Nigerian. Representative of Google, the whole of West Africa, is a Nigerian. He can't come home because of insecurity. That guy can stay in his house and show you his backyard in London. Show you the person going in and coming out through his laptop. They are Nigerian. We are not asking after them. Today, for you to be a celebrity, go to your village and mark everything about allocation that belongs to your brothers and sisters. They'll begin to give you chieftaincy title. Our value system has to change. And by the way, before I drop this call, why is it that our northern brothers are not doing bring back our girls? Why are we not having demonstration in Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto, Katsina? Why did it take the young lady from Lagos and her team to go to Kaduna to even demonstrate? Why are they not shot for in bringing up this demonstration? Why was Senator Ghana speak on Monday and Boko Haram would do the same on Tuesday? Why are the leaders in the north reacting now to Syria? Finally, what is so special about Sudan that most of our leaders are traveling to Sudan immediately after the bombing in Nyanya? These are food for thought. There are more to talk, but enough of talk, more of action. God bless this nation.
Let me quickly bring this in, all right? You wanted to react to respond, pardon me, to the phone call. Yep. I also wanted to ask, then you can respond to both of them. 70 Boko Haram members were allegedly, 70 alleged Boko Haram members were killed yesterday, the course of the week, according to the reports we have. Vigilante groups rallied her up, and something is changing, right? So you answer that question. Is this an indicator to a certain thing? And then, okay, go ahead and answer.
To your question, before I respond,
please keep it succinct. We're really running out of time and we have to go.
Madagali and Kabalaji also, Kalabagi, are actually two very rife indicators that the people are not reposing their confidence entirely in government and the troops. Call it self-help now. Self-help has its downsides. But then, for me, it may look like a good development on one side, but then it's a shortfall on the other side. Okay? Now to Prince. Prince, I heard your views were quite taken. And I must say, previously, I have always said, and will not get tired of saying, that our agencies are given to stereotypes. Just as my teacher and Dr. Ekhomu and mentor said, you need imagination here. You need innovation. We need to begin to think outside of the box. We need to begin to, in the words of another mentor and friend, concatenate. We have to start drawing lines, linking all those things he has said before we begin to see pictures that will point us in the right direction.
All right, gentlemen, it's been wonderful speaking with us. But in closing, how do we show our support? These are closing in 1 minute each. How do we show our support for the military? They say house divided cannot stand. How do we show support for the security agencies?
And find the girls.
And find these girls. Doctor.
Well, I think the military, they are doing a fine job, and we should just encourage them and pray for them. You know, they are fighting on our behalf. They are not fighting for themselves. They are fighting on our behalf. And I'd like to also appreciate those vigilantes in Madagali and Kalabagi. They are fantastic. I've been calling for restructuring the security architecture of this country. We've got to go to that level, because you never can leave everything to public agencies. Now, all we want is control of the kind of weapons they are using. That's it. I mean, this is a time-honored principle. I mean, why we suddenly all fold our hands now like you folded your hand and we are waiting for the police and the military to do everything? It's irresponsible. The Statute of Winchester, 1285, watch and ward system. Every adult had to have a gun in his house. You watch by night and ward by day, you know, and every adult had to have a gun. And that was the policing model for 600 years in Europe. So why are we just bringing this new pillion thing of 1829 here and making it appear as if that's the whole of reality? This is what we are doing right now is really very new. So when you see a challenge that goes beyond what you have, you adapt. That's what I mean, adaptation, nimble thinking. Now he has added concatenation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ekhomu. Barry.
Well, at this point in time, we cannot sit on defense. We cannot be neutral. And the only way for us not to be neutral is to talk to the president. What hashtag has been doing is to call on powers to do something about it, not just talking. We can talk, but they should not talk, they should act. And what we can do also is what we have been doing now, telling the truth, because when people refuse to tell the president that truth, that something is wrong with the military, we need to motivate these people. We need to deal with the issue of corruption. You need to stand up to your people and say, look, with what we are giving to you, of course, we are doing your best, but we've not seen your best.
Some people will be wondering, how do you draw the line between telling the truth and castigating?
We are not castigating. We are not castigating. And at the same time, castigation also, I mean, can err.
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad, because if you don't tell them, take for instance, we lost a fine officer, Colonel Salisu, that was about 6 weeks ago.
Yes, indeed.
No, that's part of what we are talking about. We are saying, and ordinarily, some of these things you know here, there are a lot of rank and files that are even dying every day. Nobody talk about them. We got to know of this because it's a fine gentleman, an officer. He died while there was no help. 24 hours there was no help, and he died there. So the cases of them. So the only way, if necessary, we have to castigate the president. When the president has done very well, we have to say kudos to our president. We have to encourage him at this point in time. He needs to be mature. He needs to stand up to Amin and say, look, there's corruption here, you must do something and motivate these young people, because at the end of the day, these young people, this rank and file, they are going to be the one to fight. If you don't motivate them, they are not going to do anything.
Finally, he spoke about the president. I empathize for Mr. President. If our president fails, his cabinet failed. If he succeeds, his cabinet succeeded. His success or failure is people-driven. I want to say something here, that the president is just a personification of our nation. He is not the nation. So people should start beginning to tell the president the truth. For our soldiers, I say well done, don't despair, keep it up. But then Mr. President needs to get down to the more subtleties.
Okay.